Hi all, Adam the Exacto Guru here. Given that June is Pride Month, I wanted to make at least one video discussing it. I'd been planning to make it the last video of the month, until I started having conversations with the people around me. Those conversations made me realize that there are still people who just don't get what equality is. Fair warning, I talk about some heavy stuff to make my point. As such, there may be excessive profanity, and I hope you'll bear with me. The other day I had someone ask me, why can't we have a straight pride parade? After a half second of shock, I responded, have you ever been beaten up for being straight? Which, while a good point, is not the one I wish I'd made. In a time where we have viable politicians who are openly against gay marriage, there are so many things that statement is saying. As a kid, I grew up hearing some very mixed messages about gay people. I was taught to think that everyone is equal, but gay people shouldn't be allowed to get married. When one of my cousins came out, close family members spouted off all the cliche phrases, which I won't repeat here. As a result, I thought some really shitty things about them for a long time. Spending time with that cousin as a teen did help to a degree. He was a great person and helped me understand he wasn't any of those cliche things, and therefore most weren't. That's still shitty, I know. I finally started questioning the messages I've been told when I joined the working world at 18. I found that a large number of the people I gravitated towards as friends were members of the LGBTQ community. Through simply spending time with them, realizing just how awesome these people really are, I began to change my thinking. I'm telling you this to help us all understand that no one changes their mind overnight. We wish they would, but it's not how the human brain works. This is the sad truth, and it's why we need to fight political policies like the one now being considered in Alberta. In May of this year, the United Conservative Party passed a motion to have parents notified by schools when their child joins a gay-straight alliance. You fucking kidding me? These kids are in a situation where they are simply reaching out for friends and understanding. You're going to put their entire life in jeopardy because you can't handle that they want compassion? These are kids. They need to be protected from the type of parents you'll be calling. On top of that, in January, a Toronto man was convicted of the serial murders of 8 men from the LGBTQ community. The man convicted, Bruce MacArthur, also had a history of violence against a man with a pipe. The victim happened to be a prostitute. For what should have been assault with a weapon, this man received a 2-year conditional sentence, essentially a form of house arrest. Had our justice system taken those charges more seriously, he may not have been free to harm anyone else. Let's take a look at the example set by New Brunswick last June, when the city of Moncton was pressured by Minister of Transportation Bill Fraser to paint over the rainbow crosswalks on Main Street. The reason given was that the city's main street is a provincially designated highway, and the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure won't approve them until a committee deems them safe. That's right, a committee has to decide whether it's more dangerous for you to walk across a rainbow-colored street or a white one. Obviously, this is just bureaucratic red tape that someone is using to push their agenda. While it seems extremely petty, it's still something that you wouldn't imagine doing if we were talking about painting the crosswalk in honor of a sports hero. Case in point, the city of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, has their fire hydrants painted to look like small people, and it's never caused confusion for the firefighters working there. On top of these things, we are also seeing politicians who not only refuse to attend Pride events, but who can proclaim a stance against gay marriage and still have a real chance at getting elected. One of these candidates happens to be Andrew Scheer, who wants to lead our fucking country. Shouldn't we be expecting our elected officials to stand up and support those who have been most discriminated against? Wouldn't that be the mark of a truly progressive society? These are just some of the problems that the Canadian LGBTQ community is facing. This is not to disregard the daily struggles that a non-hetero person may face. I'm not only referring to things like the disproportionate levels of depression and suicide that exist, but the fact that for some, these have been struggles most of us have never even conceived of. Let's consider a scenario that, until recently, was very real in North America. Imagine going out for a night on the town, to your favorite club. You're drinking, dancing, and having a great time. You meet someone there. Things go well. The two of you decide to leave the bar and head back to yours. Upon leaving the bar, you encounter a few large, imposing people who threaten you and your companion. They aren't looking to rob you, though that or worse may happen. They just don't like that you and your companion want to be together. Now imagine that these fucks have accosted you, and when you speak to the police, no matter how the officers treat you, they claim they likely cannot help you. These are just a few ways that our whole system has been against the LGBTQ community over the years. We need to remember that no matter what else you think about a person, they are still a person. What I mean by that is that we need to elect public officials that have a basic moral stance that includes people of all walks of life. Things like who you want to have sex with or not, what clubs you can join, what color crosswalks are, etc., should not be up for political debate. What really gets me about this whole thing surrounding politicians who won't attend Pride events, though, is that they are willingly missing out on a fantastic time with amazing people. The parades and festivals are always full of people who want nothing more than to brush off all the shit they endure and have a great time. What if we stopped putting these amazing people through all that shit in the first place? Imagine how much fun we could all be having all the time. In that regard, to my friends in the LGBTQ community, I'm sorry that this video wasn't the happy, fun one I was hoping to make. But once I'd had the conversation I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I knew that there were things that people needed reminding of. We seem to be at risk of backsliding on so many important topics lately, and it's because things get pushed under the rug quickly, even if they do make mainstream media. Well, those are my thoughts. If you've stuck with me this far, thank you so very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For now, I'm the Exacto Guru, reminding you to be excellent to each other.